Hello, welcome back. We are going to have a look at the L1 in a moment, but still got the B12 on the railway. I had intended to have some transcontinental to play with today, but it just never got around to completing the amount of sort of wheel cleaning and tidying up that I needed to get the train I had in mind up and running and underway for today. So we'll just have a look at this run around here. I've noticed I've got some big gaps in the station there. I must have knocked those when I was playing with the railway and taking some photographs earlier in the week. So I have got some items out here. So here we've got the B12, and you see I've got the top off. I'm just putting the controls down over my shoulder here. So we've got that terrific looking chassis there and the smoke unit. So I've just had that running, so it's warmed up quite a bit. We've got the magnet adhesion on these wheels as well. If I just grab this, you'll see what sort of stick to the track we've got. So it's fairly impressive. So the magnets are really going to give that bit of pulling power, but more importantly, keep these drive wheels down and stop it sort of rocking forwards. Let's see if we can bring this B12 to stop and stop the noise in the background. So we'll get that stopped there. There we go. Now we can see we've got the earlier style sort of blood and custard coaches here. So we've got the composite. So just put that there. You can see it's significantly shorter. But these are, actually I'm just going to grab my notes. We won't get too distracted with them. So the composite there is R29, and these are available sort of 56 to 62. So I'm sure we've seen this one on the railway before. It's a fairly tidy-ish one. Whoops, losing some focus there. And we've got trying on the bottom, sleeved wheels, open axle boxes and so on, but we do have curved ends. Whoops, we keep losing focus there. Curved ends on those. So we'll pop that down. Let's have a swift look at the box. I know we were looking at the locomotive, but then I got distracted by turning the B12 off. There we go, R29 mainline composite coach, maroon and cream. There is some sort of packing of silica gel in there. Let's see what we've got inside there. I don't know whether we can see in there. Yeah, that's all that is, just rolling around in the box. There we go. That's what that is, rattling around in there. And here we've got the brake. So R28 mainline brake, maroon and cream. So again, fairly nice condition for this sort of time period. Again, 1956 to 62. So I think these 10-inch coaches didn't come along till I think it was 63 for those. But they really are quite nice. The maroon and cream coaches, either in either of the lengths. We might as well have a look at the box whilst we're here. So again, trying railways box, built in Britain. There is a single packing ring inside there, which is what we can hear rattling around in there, as well as a little bit of silica gel. Mainline brake, second coach, R28. Let's have a look at this one's got flaps on both ends. I don't know. No, the sellotape's gone. I thought there was sellotape still on there, but it's gone on both ends there. So we'll just pop that down, put that on there, and we'll get back to the locomotive. So R350, and the tender was R36. So these came along 1960, and the one I've got here I think is with smoke. So it's 61 onwards, because magnet adhesion also came along 62, and this has magnet adhesion, so we're thinking probably 62. So those are the sort of rough dates from Pat Hammond's book, where we're just saying that this has really nice magnet adhesion. Now, I'm not going to tip this upside down because I don't want to lose the smoke tube. You can see it's all in fairly nice condition. Let's see if we can come down and have a look at that underneath of there without turning that over. Brass drive gear. Wheels in fairly nice condition. The motor looks fairly good. Quite a bit of wear on the brushes, but I think there's plenty of life. Probably enough on it to deal with what I'm going to run it. So for the time I'm going to have it, you can see the plate on that side is slightly discoloured. It's sort of blackened on the other side. rods are not quite as well preserved as they could be. But I don't think we're going to have too much trouble with those. So we'll just pop that down. There we go. We'll put that back on the rails. We'll see if we can run that up and get a bit of smoke out of it in a moment, but we may as well have a look over the bodywork. So, gorgeous item this. Again, I haven't over cleaned this, because I think when they're in this condition, sometimes if you're too sort of aggressive with the cleaning, you could end up doing more damage than you think. Now there's a securing screw there, and I don't want to suddenly drop that on the floor. So I'm going to, oh, that's actually going to stay put. You see, it's sort of quite interesting. It didn't stay put, but I can actually see where it is. It's when you drop them on the floor, you search for them for hours on end, and they never seem to show up quite where you think they're going to be. So it's sort of black overspray on the underneath there, but quite impressive how that smoke unit sort of fits inside there. So, all quite nice. Let's just pop that down and re-grip it so we can have a look from the other side. We've got some brass safety valves there. Lining was all good. It's definitely been sort of handled. The steps are so susceptible to breaking on these because they're incredibly fine. Obviously, when we get the top back on there, the motor is really going to stick out the back of the cab quite well. So have a look in there. Lovely round windows. You can see where the chassis is going to protrude through that little slot there. So we'll pop him down. There we go. Have a look at the tender. So I think these models were available sort of 1960 to 67. Again, it's a similar condition. So being handled, being played with. The wheels are fairly good. A little bit rattly. Mark III type coupling in there. Buffers just pushed into the buffer beam. So we'll pop that down as well. And have a swift look at the boxes here. So again, you can see where tape has sort of peeled away from there. There's a big sort of sticky edge where the tape has been. Again, there's packing ring present in there. R.350 Class L1 tender. So green livery. Similar info on there. Have we got some scribbling? I thought there was some scribbling. There we go. I think, is that prices or dates or something being scribbled onto the box there? Always quite interesting to find these things. So we'll pop that down and we'll have a look over the box for the locomotive. So we've got the symbol, not the symbol, the sticker for smoke there. So I think that's quite nice. And R350 Class L1 loco, green livery. So precision scale models. I'm having trouble with the speech. And then we've got a price scribbled in there and looks like in ink. So it was quite nice to have the boxes. So no sort of real packaging inside here, but I do have the paperwork. So we've got a servicing schemes book there, which we're not going to go really mad with. It's a very curly one, this one. What we've got here, New South Wales, Don Blackman, 186 Liverpool Road. What else? Southern Australia, South Australia, sorry, rather than Southern Australia. So that is a very curly sort of document. It's been wrapped around the locomotive to keep it safe. And then we have the instructions there. So there we go. We've got 63. So 9 over the 9th, 63 R350. So you can see, I don't know whether that staples from there. It is, isn't it? So it's where it's folded round on itself. So luckily, the model hasn't really been affected with that. And again, we've got the general sort of servicing things. So that's Super 4 track, isn't it? So it's not Series 3. Let's open that one out just a little bit. It's impossible to do when it's this curly. So I'll leave a few pages of this book at the very end for you to have a look at. Again, sort of oiling points for a motor buggy there by the looks of it. So let's move on to some things which are slightly more practical to look at. So I decided to get out the, this is the 62 catalogue, I think. I've completely forgotten which one it is now, yeah. So, or is it the 63? So we'll just flip through here till we get the model. I can't turn the pages. So it's nagging me now. Which one I've got? 62. I think that's the 8th edition, 1962. And looking over my shoulder at the packet that this came out of, yeah, 8th edition, 1962. And we've got the Cuneo image on the front there. So now let's get to the L1. So we do have R.350S, so it's got smoke, and then we've got this wonderful symbol here for the magnetesian. So if you notice in there, the model doesn't have handrails. So I think in the earlier catalogue image, if you look at the insert picture there, you'll see that it indicated it may have handrails on it. So there is provision for these to be in here, but I have got another one of these without smoke, which I've run in a much earlier video, which does have a handrail. And I've got a much later one in SR livery, in the sort of very, very shiny Hornby Railways one, L1, and that doesn't have a handrail. If you look on the internet, you see loads of them for sale without handrails. So that one's depicted there with smoke, looking absolutely splendid, next to the Princess here, and we've got the Britannia. Let's have a quick look at the coaches. So by this time, the coaches, the shorter coaches like I've got out today had vanished from the catalogue, when we're getting the new longer sort of scale length coaches coming in. So these sort of blood and custard coaches I've got don't really feature in this particular catalogue. They've got their new scale length coaches, but these ones in blood and custard, I don't think they came along till 63. Let's see if we can get a price for the L1. So we're looking for the steam locomotives, and we're going for R350, R350S even. The Class L1 locomotive with smoke. So it's a 60/3. Is that the price we have on the end of this box here? I can't remember now. It is, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. And then what have we got scribbled on here for the tender? 6/7. 6 and 7. Let's see what the tender was. So we'll come back down here. There we go, R350 tender. Oh, slightly different, slightly more expensive. 7 and 7. So always quite good to see these prices and try and understand what sort of what they were at the time. They seem comically small prices by now when you do the conversions, but I think they were just really quite reassuringly expensive even in their day. So we'll just pop the coach box out of the way, and the instructions, price list. We'll do that there, and we'll see if we can get a little bit of power on this. Put that out of the way and see if we can run it up to get any smoke out of it. So I'm just going to grab the correct controls here. Sorry, I'm pointing at the floor when I should be pointing at the controls here. So we'll add some power into that. And again, it does smoke reasonably well, but again, if you're looking at it against something light, you don't tend to see the smoke. So we'll wind that up. And then when I bring that to a stop, we should be able to see the smoke. Let's have a look there. Have we got any wisps of smoke? No wisps of smoke. Let's go. Oops. I hadn't meant to turn the switch quite like that. And we'll get that warmed up. Have we got wisps of smoke there? Yeah, so there we go. We look at that there. You can see just faint wisps, so you really do have to run it quite whoops. I should turn it the direction I'm really really going to look. So this is sort of full power now. And we'll bring that to a stop there. There we see it's producing quite a nice amount of smoke. That's quite a strong smell. So I think we'll get that put together, and we'll have a little bit of running with this, and perhaps get the B12 underway as well. I thought I'd just put that bit of footage in because I forgot to point out Triang's name and the model number on the underside of the body moulding. But we're all back together now. I've got those coaches sitting in the side in there. We'll pick those up in a moment. But I thought we'd just have a quick glance at this service sheet and this magnet. So you've got this great big magnet there, and it runs into these slots held into place underneath. So that's going to give that magnet adhesion effect to the drive wheels, which gives it that lovely stick to the track, ideally improving its pickup as well by keeping the wheels in contact with the rails. So we'll pop that down and we'll roll this forward and pick up these coaches. So I put the controls down in an awkward place there, so we'll dial in a little power and we'll run that around, a little bit more rattly with the tender on. So I think initially some of these tenders would have had foam inside them. I have to admit I've not opened this one up to see if there's any foam on the inside, but it could be a little bit more rattly if it doesn't have the foam in there. So let's make that one straight, and then we want this yellow one here, we want to go curved with that. Now I was just having a fool around with that, so I'm just going to put the uncoupling ramp down so we don't sort of uncouple when we're trying to move away. So I'll grab the power, we'll stand back and roll back and get those coaches. I think I stopped that just a fraction too early initially, so we'll make that roll away again. I'll stop that handily at the station, and I'll tidy up the point work behind me. Which one do I need to do? Probably do both of the ones I was just playing with. So I want to go curved with that one and then straight with that one there. And then I'll get this to run away from the station. We'll see if we can just follow around. Or see if we can. We'll follow around and get some interesting shots of it. Just having an initial look. I think those coaches look terrific, really lovely colour, especially in the daylight. Possibly a slightly different colour on each of them. I know the roof on one of them, this one is a little bit more matte than the one that's coming into shot there. Perhaps it's had a little bit more cleaning. Let's come out a little bit closer over here now. So I wonder whether we have any smoke. I think I saw a whiff of smoke there as we went past the plastic tunnel. And come over ahead here, see if we've got any evidence of smoke. Possibly not running at a great enough speed at the moment. I can actually smell the smoke, so I know we are producing smoke here. So it's going to have that nice dark background against, oh, I saw it there when it was against the track. There we go, we've got smoke. So if we look as it comes past this plastic tunnel, let's keep an eye on that. Yeah, we've got smoke there. I think if I get any closer with the camera, we'll completely drop the focus. I'm going to put in a little bit more power. And then we'll come in and just have a look one last time at that. Yeah, I think we've got a nice trail of smoke coming out of there. That's all running really nicely. So I think just to finish off with, we should have the B12 running here as well. So I'm going to grab the controls for that. Because I've turned around so many times now, I can't remember which way to turn the controller. There we go. So we'll just direct our attention to the B12 for a moment. Coming through the station. L1 coming in from the left here. Certainly got very, very strong smell of the smoke for now. I'm trying to put down the controls without tripping over here. B12 coming in from the right here. Let's jump over the top here and have a look at that. I was looking at the wrong line then. This is going to come through the station. Here comes the L1. And ideally, the camera doesn't like this angle, it's gone funny. Ideally it's going to right itself. Yeah, I was trying to twist the camera around at a funny angle. It didn't like that at all. Well, I think that's probably it for this time. Thank you again for looking in. Really hope you enjoyed seeing these models. And if we look back again next time, we'll see if we can have something else interesting to look at from the range. Goodbye now.